Hello everyone, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 5 of Gregtech New Horizons. I actually just recorded the last episode yesterday, but I ended up really enjoying the end of that episode and playing this pack, so I went ahead and got a lot of stuff done, a lot of quality of life improvements. You might notice this is an entirely new room back there, and time to record the next episode. Okay, so here are my goals, but I'll go over those later. Here's what I did in between the videos. I decorated the base just a little bit. I lit up the area. I made better food in the form of these smoothies because the type of spice of life that we have in this pack, it just checks for different types of food. It doesn't check for food groups. So I can just make these using a little bit of a different farm that I set up out here and never have to worry about food again because these are a decent food. They give 1.5, I think, which is pretty good. I also made a snow golem, which is a little guy that we have sitting just down here, and we can get snow from him whenever we want. He has to be right here because this place where I'm living is really, really odd. If you check the up in the corner over here, the biome, right here, it's woodland. Right here, it's hot desert, which is why this isn't producing much water per tick. It still works fine because we're producing way more than we're consuming right now, but it's just like all over the place. It just changes. So woodland, temperate, and back over here is a woodland and then a hot desert again. So not the ideal place for a base, but it's okay. I also went ahead and made a lunchbox, which is what our food is in right here. It stores 6 items, so we can just have 1 inventory space filled by this instead of 2 with the lunch bags. And I made a storage room, which is all of this back here. It's literally just a bunch of chests, and I took all my items from around the base and organized them up through with these like signs and everything. I also have some cakes now. You know, they'll disappear eventually. I think that's everything I did in between videos. So, oh wait, no, I did do one more thing. I want to show you outside because it's a lot nicer out there now. As you can see, I cleaned it up. We now have a little path running to the farm just to make it a little bit nicer around here. I also have a ton of torches. It's not nighttime right now, but this extends out quite far, and I'm fairly certain mobs that can spawn within like spawning range around this base cannot see me when I'm working on anything within like the general vicinity of my house. So it should be safe to work at night. That doesn't mean I'm going to, but technically it should be safe. In between videos, I also went ahead and smelted up 16 ingots of this molten alumite. The way I got this was the recipe I showed earlier. It's not in here. There it is, right there, which means I did finish up some steel. I think I made like 36 all in all. It's all done. I've used most of it. I think I only have a couple pieces left. 14 pieces left. I'm going to start making more because I've actually smelted up all of my ores as well. So we have a bunch of like iron and copper and diamonds now. And just like that, with those alumite plates finally made, a tool forge. This is very special. Okay, I'm going to gather up the materials we will need to make one of these lumber axes, and 2, one of these hammers. So I'm going to need a hammerhead and that other stuff. Oh, also, it turns out you can just find basically fully made smelteries, with the exception of the controller and the tank, of course, in villages. So now I have a fully formed smeltery that is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks tall, a bunch of extra seared bricks, and a couple extra casting basins and stuff. There's the hammerhead, plate number 1, and plate number 2, and finally, a tough tool rod. And as soon as I finished pouring those out, I realized I've just made these all out of copper, which is completely useless to me. I'm going to melt them back down, turn them into ingots, and I need to make this thing out of bronze. And with all of that, we should be able to just... Oh, they don't go into their own spaces. There's that. Effective durability, 3,500 blocks. And I can bring that up a little bit further if I put a diamond on here, right? I have... Oh no, I don't have any modifiers yet. Time to make a lumber axe. You know, I never really thought getting a tool forge and making some tinker's tools would feel so good. But, here we are, I guess. Also, I would consider making these out of steel. I'm pretty much making them entirely out of copper right now. But steel is still a little hard to come by, even though it's a better material, and repairing these things probably will happen fairly often. So I'd rather use... Did I just use copper? Oh... What I was trying to say is I'd rather use bronze, because I can make it fairly easily. But, I can't believe I did it again. And this should be the lumber axe. And it has 2,000 durability. That is so cool. And what I should be able to do with this lumber axe now is come over here to my tree farm and just, do that. That's so nice. Oh, now getting wood is no longer a huge chore. I might keep a row of this oak stuff down because I like having oak wood. It's kind of nice to build with. But I might switch over to the 2x2 spruce trees because those will I can chop them in one go with this axe, and they'll give me a ton of wood. Unfortunately, I don't have any bones to grow this right now, but hopefully this will eventually grow into a ginormous tree and we can get like 6 stacks of wood in one go. And we can start checking things off. The next step is I want to go mining. And the reason I want to go mining is because, well, one, I think I need more copper and redstone anyways, and also coal if I want to continue making steel. I also just want to try out this bad boy. It should mine in a 3x3, which will be so sick. Okay, here we go. Yep, it does. It does the 3x3 thing. Oh, this is going to be so nice. As soon as I can get some redstone on this thing, and maybe like a diamond, oh, this thing's going to be unstoppable. It's been like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and I've gathered substantially more coal than I've ever gathered in this entire playthrough so far. This is just overpowered, and also so necessary for this pack. And there we have it. I ended up with just over 9 stacks of actual coal, a little bit of lignite coal, which is kind of useless, but I'll take it. I think what I'm going to do is smelt up a bit of this just on its own, and then use that to smelt the rest of it. Because once again, you don't get coal directly from mining coal, you have to smelt the coal to get coal. It's a whole process. But I think next step is a little bit more copper. When I got down here, I thought this copper vein was actually looking a little bit dead, because it does look a little bit dead when you look at it like this. However, I think that's due to the way that you mine, or you tend to mine when you're mining with just a pickaxe and not a 3x3 tool. There's obviously a lot of ores left here. So let me mine a bunch, and then we can start doing some actual stuff. Well, it turns out my assessment may have been more correct than I thought. This vein is pretty dead. At least in terms of copper. I could mine the next couple of layers and get a ton of this pyrite and this iron ore stuff, but that smelts into iron. I'm not really looking for iron right now. I've got a ton of it. I just want this copper stuff. However, I think I'm doing decently. I've got at least a couple of stacks of copper, which should be enough to carry us through for a little bit. All in all, I ended up with about 3.5 stacks of copper. This is iron, and this is iron. But, you know, that's pretty good. That puts us at around 6. And I really only spent like 5 minutes down here. So we're chilling. And there we go. Everything is running now. Or, well, all the furnaces are running. Making some copper, making some more coal. And I think we can check off the Go Mining tab. So now, next, I think I want to try and get to the Nether. I'm pretty sure I have fire charges. I forgot about these last episode when I was talking about going to the Nether. I do. I have a couple of fire charges. These, I think, I'm going to test one actually. Yep, okay. They'll light fire on the ground, which means I can set up a Nether portal and light it. I'm also fairly certain that this thing is going to be nasty, and it's not going to be something that I want to have right outside my house. So we're going to put it... Oh no. Oh no. Well... Looks like we're lighting this one by hand somehow. I need to go get some wood. But that should be a portal. 3x3 portals are a thing in this version, right? I really hope so. Well, since I ruined our chances of not having to make a flint and steel, it's actually not that bad. I'm just going to go ahead and make it. We have the spare steel right now, and I'm about to start cooking up some more, actually, so it's fine. And with this, I now have a flint and steel. Unfortunate, but it had to be done anyways, so I'm okay with it. Also, is this full? No. Oh, I meant to start coal in here. Yeah, that should be good now. It's just about to turn night, but hopefully I have enough time to come over here and get it going. Okay, so let's take a peek and hopefully not get demolished instantly. Interesting. This is really not what I expected. There's actual wood here, and this is basically grass. Where's this? Is this Biomes of Plenty? Oh, this is weird. Okay, I've never played with this before. Also, what are you? Oh, hello. Hello. Let's not. Hello. Oh, it's a little spirit. I think these things are bad. Yeah. Hey, I got some ectoplasm. Sweet. I don't need anything here right now, so I'm not gonna mess with this. But, ooh, that's a big nether quartz vein. That's nice. I'm gonna go home. I couldn't really help myself, so I just kind of walked around a little bit, and I've come to the conclusion the nether's kind of nice in this pack. Not really scary at all. I also found this flower. It's a glow flower. I guess it can turn into glowstone, but yeah, this is very not deadly. I expected much more deadly. I ended up snagging one of the gravestones. Bye-bye, cake. Yeah, you're dead now. I kind of killed those cakes. One more thing checked off the list. And between episodes, what else did I do? Wait, I did something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yes, I remember. So in Gregtech, machines, or it can be toggled on that machines create pollution. So I believe these boilers, they create 20 pollution per second. Or, actually, maybe I can look it up. I spelled boiler wrong. Boiler. It produces 20 pollution per second. If I made 5 of those within 5 minutes of full-time running, I would already reach the cap for negative pollution effects. I don't want that, so I kind of turned off pollution for the entire pack. I don't think it adds anything to the game. I don't think it sounds like a fun feature, so I'm just not going to deal with it. That's the only change I'm going to make here. And I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I refuse to play with a feature that simply just makes my life more annoying. But enough of all that dumb stuff. All of the easy things are checked off my to-do list. I think the next step is going to be these better boilers, because simply these guys don't produce enough, and they don't produce fast enough that it's reasonable for me to store a buffer of steam. I need to start doing that because later on I'm definitely going to need it. But the next step is to make more blocks of iron, and I'm waiting on this coal coke production right now to do that. I guess I could kind of start with a charcoal one. It uses 36 charcoal instead of 18 coal coke, which is fine. It just takes a long time to make charcoal too. But I'm gonna have to AFK for this, so I will probably wait for a couple hours, get a stack of steel or so, and then we can really get into the like proper steam stuff. Hello. I'm not sure where I left off. The last thing you saw from me was either the Nether or me telling you I needed to let steel smelt up. It was one of those things. However, last time you saw me was, well, seconds for you, a couple of days for me actually, and I need to replace these. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. I, as you can see, have made 2 more coke ovens so we can make coal coke quite fast, and have allowed this to run at least a little bit. We have 26 steel and about to have 1 more. So I've actually done a little bit of crafting as well, because I had to make another forge hammer because it didn't do the quest right, and I guess I'm gonna have to make another flint and steel. Hey, why is this happening again? I haven't had a mob attack in literally days. Apparently it wants me to make a flint and steel again. That's not gonna happen because I already went to the Nether. I don't know what the heck those things are. Anyways, I completed a couple of quests. I completed the Forge Hammer and the Anvil one more time, just because I had to. Apparently you can make these upgraded high pressure, whatever, Forge Hammers. I don't really care for that. My goal is to get into LV as soon as possible. So now, I actually have the capability of making LV machine casings. So, let's go make one. I've just got to go to my very, very, very loud area that has my furnace, which is cooking up some wrought iron right now, and forge hammer some stuff. I do have a fair amount of steam for right now. I need to put a buffer in this, but that'll happen in a little bit. And there we are. That is 9 pieces of steel. And I guess if I just come right here, do I have a wrench on me? I do have a wrench on me. I just put this in here. A nice little wrench in the center, and we get our first LV machine casing. And that should complete a... No, it's not going to complete a quest. I need to make the machine whole as well. This requires a couple of tin cables and some rubber sheets, which is actually the next step. I actually prepared for this a little bit. I got a bunch of this stuff and a bunch of this stuff, and this is going to make glass dust. If I put this in the smeltery, right, it turns each one of these into one thing of glass. And that is actually on our list, I think. Did I? I thought I had glass on the list. Maybe not. Whatever. I'm making glass, and then we can make an extractor. And there we go. That's 20 blocks of glass. And I should just be able to do that. And it will take a billion years to pour. But it'll turn into a block of glass, which gets automatically extracted, and now we have some clear glass. Perfect. I think that's a quest, actually, right? Or am I incorrect? Hello? Oh, I need 6 of it. That makes sense. I'm gonna get 6 anyways, so give me a second. I just spent a couple of minutes actually trying to stick it to the man, you know, and make one of these redstone clocks. Turns out, comparators are fairly expensive. Nether quartz dust actually easy. Pressure plates, on the other hand, very expensive on the iron. Oh my goodness, like that's 2 pieces of iron plus all of these, another like it's like 6 or more pieces of iron per. So I'm just gonna be lazy and place down a second casting basin. Make no mistake, this is coming. I'm just too lazy to do it right now. Let me save you a couple of years if you're playing this pack and are trying to figure out the recipe for rubber. You get rubber bars from extracting rubber wood, which in an extractor, the thing that I just made, turns into this raw rubber dust. This raw rubber dust can be used, well, one, to make this mica-based pulp, but then it can also be used, well, in a chemical reactor to make molten rubber, except that is LV. We don't have access to LV yet. So, what we're going to have to do is use an alloy smelter. This really tripped me up because the first recipe you see here is paper and raw rubber makes a letter. I don't think we need letters anytime soon. However, there's a second page. This is the recipe for rubber. So, I need some sulfurs, and I need to extract some raw rubber dust. What I'm probably going to do is just chop a bunch of rubber wood. Do I have any? I have 4. Chop a bunch of rubber wood, go to the nether, find some sulfur, and then get on with making some rubber bars. And there's a rubber tree. While I'm doing this, I might as well, since I have this tree tap left anyways, is see if there's any resin on these guys, and if there is, I will take it. And it looks like this guy got unlucky. No resin. I used up all my bone meal, and very unfortunately for me, I don't have any backups. I am completely out of bones, completely dry. So I'm just going to plant some of these rubber trees for the time being, and hopefully, within time, they will grow and give me all the rubber that I need. I did get 28. That's enough for at least a couple pieces of rubber. It's enough to allow me to complete the quest that I'm trying to complete right now, so I'll take it. But now it's time to set up this extractor. So that does auto connect if I shift click place it, and I need to wrench the top so the steam goes out the top, and I should just be able to throw the rubber in, and slowly it will extract. The furnace is actually done here, which is kind of nice. I have a couple of wrought iron in here, so nothing else is working. This should be getting all of the good stuff. So what I'm going to probably do is just add like 4 pieces of coal into each of these bad boys, and it should run for a while. It doesn't take that long to make a piece of the rubber pulp, so you know what, I'll live. Time to go find some sulfur. These creepers are not very nice. Watch this. Also, am I getting attacked by a dog right now? Oh no, it's that guy, he's a boss. Hello. They blow up so fast. They don't really do any damage, but they blow up so fast. This right here is the first glowstone of the pack, actually. I don't really need it right now for... Oh no. It's one of these. Is there anyone who's actually gonna attack me? It doesn't look like it. It's one of these packs that has the stupid zombie pigmen get angry if you mine their stuff type of deal. So I've just checked to make sure. There is a sulfur vein. It does generate in the Nether. I just have to find it. So wish me best of luck. The sulfur vein apparently generates very, very low in the Nether, between Y levels 5 and 20, which means I guess I'm going to the bottom of the world and strip mining. My good old tactic. It worked perfectly for the diamonds and the lapis. It better work this time. And it appears instead of finding sulfur, I found a Nether redstone vein. I'm actually gonna mark this. This might be my easiest to access redstone vein, considering I actually destroyed the last redstone vein. There is nothing left there. It is just a shell of what it used to be. So time to mine. Ooh, malachite. Wait. Okay, so it looks like we have an iron vein here. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna mark that too. And let's continue on. I came across this before I came across any ores. Apparently it's blood. And there's flesh? What kind of biome am I in right now? And it looks like... Oh no, it doesn't regenerate. Eh, whatever. Not really my problem. And here it is. A beryllium vein, which has sulfur. Perfect. So what I can do now is use my handy dandy good pickaxe, or good hammer, to get a ton of this stuff really, really fast. This vein also apparently has sphalerite, which turns into zinc, which I'm sure will be useful somewhere down the line for something. There also happens to be a ton of emerald ore in this vein. I don't know if this is just a part of the vein, or if it's spawning naturally for some reason. I assume it's a part of the vein. There's a bunch of it. But, there's a ton of it here. If I ever need emeralds, I'm coming back here. I actually kind of forgot that I could harvest this stuff now. I'm gonna grab some emeralds. Okay, I'm back from the Nether. I come home with quite a few ores. Some that I didn't even quite expect to have, like a couple pieces of thorium, which apparently melts into 2. I don't know what thorium's for. It's probably useful in something, just like everything else is. But I think I'm just gonna take some of this sulfur ore and break it down with a hammer. Since I have a bunch of wrought iron now, I think I'm just going to make a wrought iron hammer and use that because it lasts significantly longer than a normal iron hammer does. So hopefully this gives me more than 1 per. Yeah, gives me 2, 4. I'm probably going to average 2 to 2.5 per, I think. Or maybe exactly 2. We'll see. I'm going to break down an entire stack of this so we don't have to worry about it for a while. And I'll be back in just a minute. This is my sulfur for the next time being. My hammer died, so I get this much. And we have a little bit of the bad stuff in there that's useless. However, by now, I should have this basically done. Oh, hey, that's actually kind of perfect. So I should get 9 iron bars from this if I alloy smelt that with 9 pieces of sulfur. And it's going to be so loud, so I'm going to let it run in the background, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. And there we have it, our first 3 pieces of rubber. And I'm going to shove a couple more of those in there, and potentially a couple more pieces of coal into all of these machines. But this should, in theory, be the last thing I really need to do to get into the LV age, or to make the LV machine hull at least. It looks like I have to alloy smelt with one of these plate molds. These aren't hard to make. I just need steel and a casting table. And there we go. There's our plate mold. Now I can grab it and use it with the rubber bars to get rubber sheets. I did not expect that to be so fast. Let me make 4 more then. That's kind of awesome. Give me that back. And I guess since I have 6 in here, I can start smelting up 2 more pieces of rubber. But for now, this is enough to get our first machine hole. So let me make a couple of tin wires. And that is done using the wire cutters. I'm going to go ahead and make 6. And I should just be able to cover these wires just like that to get the covered tin cables. And then my LV machine hole just requires 1 steel plate and 2 wrought iron plates. There's the wrought iron plates, and now I have everything to make this first LV machine hole. And of course it's not going to pull directly because this is 1.7, not a very cool 1.8 or above, or anything else really. First LV machine hole, there it is. And that completes the quest, which gives me a couple of poached pears, very beautiful. And I guess the next step is rotors. However, I'm fairly certain we are well over time for today. So that's going to be all of the progress that we do in this episode. So let's take a little bit of a look for the episode goals. I added this one at the end. Didn't happen. I also didn't make boilers, but I did get prepared for LV, I'd say, at least in some ways. So we made the tool forge, we made Tinker's tools, we went mining for these 2 things. I did some semi-auto smelting of wrought iron. I got my first rubber. And we went to the Nether, which is fairly cool. I have a couple of things to craft, but, you know, it is what it is. We're not perfect. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe leave a like or something. I don't really know. I'll see you in the next one, if you choose to come. Take care. Bye-bye.